Okay, before I get into the story, I know what the title looks like, and I want to just tell you guys that no, I did not make this girl bleed. This girl was bleeding on her own, and honestly, it was just a panic shocker for me and most of my classmates. Now, the way the story ended up going off is honestly insane, but before I get into it, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And on top of that, I'm currently live on Twitch, so if you guys do want to watch me live, go click the link down below and watch me, because seriously, we have more fun in there than here. Now, anyways, guys, like I always say, let's get straight into this crazy story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to an insane story. So this story takes place back when I was in middle school. In middle school, I remember being the average kid, not looking that great, and honestly, like I said, I wasn't really a lady puller back in middle school. I think the most I could pull was a kill feed in Call of Duty and maybe a trick shot here or there. But when it came to women, I could not get anything for the life of me. And I remember one time when I was entering my class, I ended up sitting down as if it was gonna be a normal school day, but then something was off. The girl sitting beside me, she was just an average girl, and you know, she's usually quiet when she sits beside me, but today she was pretty, how do I put this, angry. I don't know what it was, but every time she looked at me, she's like, can you put your hand on your desk? Can you leave me alone? I am working on my homework. Like, she had like some sort of attitude switch, which scared the life out of me. Now, before anything, honestly, I want to mention that I don't know anything about, you know, girl hormones. Like, at this point, honestly, I just kind of go with the flow and just hope for the best. Like, if I were to have a girlfriend anytime soon, honestly, I'm just gonna make sure that her hormones are set straight, because knowing girls nowadays, man, they could say one thing but totally mean another. Anyways, I was sitting beside this girl for the entire school day, and I remember when it came to lunchtime, she just instantly ran to the bathroom. I have no idea why, and I remember when she came out, I kind of just went to go check on her and said, hey, I just want to apologize for what happened at class today. I don't mean to annoy you. I just want to make sure you're doing all right. She looked at me and she's like, I'm fine. Like, you don't got to check on me, okay? I'm just having some stomach aches. And I kind of just said, okay, whatever. I was trying to be a nice guy, but sure, be a weirdo. And I ended up leaving. I remember the day went on, and I remember PE came up. If you guys don't know what PE is, it's basically, you know, playing sports or playing some kind of thing. And I remember when we were playing PE, this girl was upset. She was mad. She was angry, and she had fumes going through her head like there was no tomorrow. And I remember when we were playing the game ball hockey, if you guys don't know, I'm Canadian, so hockey's like a big deal here. And we were playing ball hockey, and I remember, dude, this girl was just pissed. Like she was body checking people in ball hockey in middle school. I don't know where she got this idea from. I think one of her like siblings played hockey, but she was pissed, and I don't know why. Like I was like, dude, this girl needs to calm down. I remember going up to my teacher saying, yo, like, you should probably like take her off the court. Like, she seems pretty pissed off. I remember the teacher looks at me and he's like, yeah, you're probably right. We should probably take her off. So I remember the teacher ended up going up to the girl and saying, okay, hey, you should probably go sit on the bench. The girl looked directly at me with like these menacing eyes as if she was gonna tear my head off piece by piece and make me eat it, and basically just like, I don't know, it was just terrifying. I've never seen more anger in a girl than this girl. She goes and sits down, and I remember I had to go sit down beside her because we were both benched, and she looks at me and she's like, you shouldn't have done that. You're seriously like such a weirdo. Like, seriously, what is your problem with me? I thought you apologized, but now you're just being more of a jerk. Honestly, I don't even know why your parents gave birth to you. Jeez, talk about being a bully, eh? I don't know, I was just kind of annoyed, and I said, you know what, it's the best for everyone else. Anyways, after PE, everyone got changed, and I remember this girl ended up wearing a totally different outfit that was pissed off. She was wearing like white jeans and like a normal tank top, and you guys will figure out why this is a big deal for the story later on. But we basically all went to class after PE, and I remember we all sat down back in our seating arrangements. And then I remember we had English class. Now in English, we usually do nothing special except read. And I remember we were all sitting down in our class, and our teacher was in the front of the class reading The Hobbit to us. To this day, I never understood how so many dwarves ended up fighting a giant dragon. But you know, long story short, we basically sat down and the book was being read, and I remember this girl was just holding on to her stomach that was beside me. I look at her and I'm like, are you okay? And she looks over, she's like, shut up, loser. And I was like, okay, geez, damn, I'm just trying to help. You know, I'm just trying to be a good friend. And then she looks so like worried and as if something was going wrong. I don't know what was going on with this girl. I couldn't tell if she was gonna explode. I couldn't tell if she was gonna give birth. Like, something was off with this girl. But then as I started sitting down, I remember I ended up kind of looking down and I saw blood. Now originally I thought it was coming out of me, so I remember I checked my leg, I checked everything just to see if I got anything from floor hockey, and I realized that I wasn't bleeding. Then I look over at the girl and I remember seeing her jeans were kind of bloody, and I'm like, oh my god, she's bleeding. I remember I stood up, I'm like, yo, are you bleeding? Kind of like in fear. My teacher stops reading the book saying, what is going on over there? And I remember I'm like, dude, I think she's bleeding. She looks over at me, she's like, I'm not bleeding. And then as she stands up, I just see blood all over the chair and her enormous peach. Like, it was red, it was blood red. Her pants went from white to red. Like, it was terrifying. I was freaking out. I was panicking. I'm like, why is she bleeding? Was this my fault? Did I put a pencil up her butt? Like, what did I do? I was terrified. And I remember I was freaking out, panicking. And then I remember the teacher looks over, she's like, oh, I know this situation. As if she's like a professional in blood. And I remember there were a couple girls laughing in the class. I don't know why they were laughing. They were being big jerks. jerks on that one. But me, I was panicking. I'm like, where are you bleeding? Where do I put this band-aid? We need first aid. Like, I was panicking my life off. I didn't know what to think, guys. I don't, like, remember at this time, middle school, I wasn't focused on women. I didn't understand the terms of women bleeding. And me trying to figure out where the hell this girl was bleeding from, I couldn't tell. I couldn't. I thought she probably had like a hole in her butt or something. I mean, she does, but I mean, you guys know what I mean. I was just majorly panicking and I didn't know what to do. I remember the girl ended up standing up and she just like, she was standing up bleeding more and more. She just ran to the bathroom. The teacher went and followed behind her. She ran out of their classroom crying, by the way, I should mention. And I felt bad. I didn't know what to think. I thought it was my fault. I thought I was the reason why this girl was bleeding. I thought that I magically telekinesed her organs to start making her bleed. I don't know. And I remember I was so confused. And then my teacher, another teacher I should probably mention, that came to the classroom to help cover up things for the class and clean the blood, came in and said, Baba, you gotta understand, women bleed in certain times of the season. I look at him and I'm like, what? Is it for like a holiday? Like why do women bleed? I was confused. And then he told me, no, it's a part of growing up for a woman to start bleeding randomly. It's called a period. What? You're telling me women just bleed randomly, like when they want to? Like, is this like a superpower? To be honest, I thought it was one of those things where like guys pee and like girls bleed. Like I thought it was one of those things. To be honest, I didn't understand the science behind it. A lot of things changed after a couple months when we ended up getting sex ed in our school, or Devil's Tango ed. But I'm gonna be honest, it just blew my mind. To this day, I always felt bad about yelling in the middle of the classroom about that girl bleeding. And I remember actually one time in high school, I ended up seeing her again and saying like apologizing, and she ended up laughing, saying, honestly, I just found it kind of funny how much you cared about me. And she ended up walking away. And yes, I do see this girl again, and we ended up doing the Devil's Tango. Luckily, she wasn't bleeding that time. But all I'm gonna say is that puberty is a serious thing that many people go through. I guess guys and girls have it very differently. And this was my experience of watching that girl bleed. And damn, girls, you guys bleed a lot. I'm just gonna mention that right now. Other than that, though, I know this was a really short story. I just wanted to get something out there. But seriously, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support on the recent videos. And on top of that, I just want to mention that I am currently live on Twitch. So if you guys do want to watch me down below, go ahead and click on that. And like I always say, fall for more embarrassing but awesome stories. All right, peace out, guys.